So I want to deep dive into this. All right. So I'm going to allocate time to be able to break this down and look at it as objectively as possible. Because so many of the women felt like, well, Anton, you need to be able to see the full thing in order to make an assessment of how it is that she was moving. Let me make sure that I got the right video. You need to be able to come back to the front of the congregation in order to make an assessment of how she was moving. Oh, that's part one. Did I get part two up here? Let's see. There we go. We got part two popping. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play this. I tried to remove as much noise from in front of me to be able to see this as objective as possible. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, get the likes up. Good grief. We always have over 1K in here every single morning and the likes be fucking anemic. What is wrong with y'all? That's all I ask of y'all. But let's go ahead and get into it. I wanna mine it out. Shout out to the king downstairs. Says if Kwame had that much energy on the court or in the gym, he would have had a successful career. Hey y'all, let's not go in on Kwame too much because I definitely want to try to reach out to him and get him on the show. That's why I'm trying to be as objective as possible. Anton trying to be a politician up in this joint. Let me go ahead and get this started.
What did that do to you?
I became a
Now, hopefully there's no giggling in this one.
shell of myself. I didn't know who I was. I actually have a couple posts on my page where it's like, I have a post that says, I knew her body better than I knew my own.
Stop. Let that sit there. You said you knew another woman's body better than you knew your own.
Yes, several women.
Okay, I'm going to speed this up a little bit because the theatrics and the drama is a bit much for me. So a lot of times I have minimal amount of patience and it'd be taking me a little while to get through stuff because I'll be wanting to pause and give my thoughts and stuff like that. So I'm going to speed this up just a tad. We're going to go 1.25 and we're going to see if they can talk any quicker.
I knew several other women's bodies better than I knew my own. And I spent a lot of time, like I went in such a deep hole where I was like studying these women. I would go to their profiles and I would study their pages and like what they wear. I knew when they had met up. So I watched their videos of them having sex. So I would try to imitate that and recreate that in our relationships so that he could choose me and want me.
I never imagined my public healing would inspire others to heal across. Is the Dear Calm. You found that Derrick was having inappropriate conversations with people from his past that he had a sexual relationship with, and then later on you began to find out that it wasn't just conversations; it had moved to actual sexual acts.
Yes. And again, I didn't find that out until 2019. So we got married January 2018. I found out in November of 2019.
Dang, they only been married for like 5 years. They got married in January, but then I have to remember that these people are younger than me too. You know what I'm saying? So January 2018, she said she had dated him for 9 years. And I'm just doing a recap of what it is that she said yesterday. And kind of guilted him into marrying her. So he was already popping off in his book and stuff, I'm assuming, before he wound up getting married to her because, yeah, he was popping before he got married.
And that there was a lot of conversations that had turned into physical interactions from that point. So in that time span, I had actually began working on myself. I had 500 followers at the time.
Oh, look at your 500 followers.
500, I was doing big things.
It's like you're doing something. You're like,
all
I got
kinds
500.
of big things. I was known. People knew who I was, okay?
He over here with 1 point something million, you had 500.
Everybody knew who I was, okay? And so I had actually started a little journey on Instagram at the time with like losing weight. I lost 66 pounds. I told you I had enrolled, thank you. I had enrolled in therapy. So my therapist is like helping me through this time as I'm losing weight. And I'm like, yeah, I'm becoming a better person, a better woman. I'm becoming more secure, like in myself and confident in myself. Look at all this weight I just lost. I've been putting this work in. I'm fine.
After 2 kids?
2 whole kids. I'm looking fine, okay? And then it was at that point I'm like, I want to start traveling with you. I'm going on tour with you. So then he
Uh-oh. Now she want to be visible. That's not what the agreement was in the beginning. Now she want to start throwing a monkey wrench in the game. Yo, what's up with women, married women, looking to get their followers up, and they not public figures? I'm just curious, what is up with married women looking to get their followers up, and they not public figures, or they not actually doing anything to bring in any revenue? You just want some relevance? You just want some visibility? What? Okay, let's continue.
He did the self-love tour with Steven Speaks
Yeah.
and all that, and I was there at almost every tour stop.
Did people know who you were when they
coordinating
saw you?
that. They did not know who I was until I said I'm his wife, and there was a few times where I had to, I mean, literally our team, because I coordinated our team to travel with us, the people that I hired to come with us, and they were literally like holding me back at some of these events, like, don't do it. And I'm like,
What were you about to do?
listen, I was not always saved. Okay, so there's
She was up there trying to fumble a bag, basically. She was fucking up the money because of her ego. She was literally messing up the money. She started getting in the way of the money because she wanted to be acknowledged. And this is one of the things that men, you need to understand this. Who women are when you marry them is going to be completely different from who they are. Once you become visible, once you become more successful, once she continues to evolve. And I tell people this all the time. Yo, who you are when you're 20 is completely different from who you are when you're 30. And so as you evolve, if you're not growing together and she don't understand that this is a bag associated with it, so you letting your ego get in the way of what it is that he's doing in order to generate the revenue, you're not playing fair. You not playing fair. So now you want to jump in and they got to hold you back and all of this other type of stuff. Man, listen, you largely going to be the one that's the beneficiary of what it is that he putting down, and you putting together the whole tour. What do you need to be visible for? Unless that's a part of the branding, unless that's the thing that you guys have strategically put together as a part of your brand, why do you have to be acknowledged all the fucking time? Why are you letting your ego get in the way of what it is that he's building? And this is the moat that a lot of guys have to try to cross over and tiptoe over, because his success didn't come until after she was already involved in his life.
you know, when you have a husband that is in the spotlight, women feel like they can do whatever they want. They can talk to him out. They can touch however they want. Oh, you're so fun. These little touches turn into something else.
Some more touches.
Other touches, right? There was a lot of that. There's a woman that was bold enough to sit on his lap, and he didn't even do anything about it. And I had better words from him at that time because I had been in therapy, so I was practicing those tools. And it still was like, okay, well, this is part of my job. This is what comes with it.
Listen, y'all. Everybody is not prepared for success. Everybody is not prepared for success, right? There are going to be people that get at you. There are going to be people that try to reach out to you. It is people that is going to they're going to be in your DMs. They're going to be reaching out. Yo, you going to have to be, she wasn't secure enough, because obviously he was cool, or he allowed for it to happen as far as him letting her go on tour with her, but she was not secure enough for what success was, or the breeding of success, and she became jealous, unwarranted, as a result of her then now participating and becoming visible to what it is that he have to experience throughout his situation. She was not prepared for it. Your character it's not going to carry you where the success and the money leads. That's not his fault. That was the brand that she was a part of cultivating.
You have to be more secure. And I'm like, I'm secure, but it is not okay for this to happen, And so that just kind of became a dynamic throughout the rest of the tour, but we made it through by God's grace. But yeah, there was a couple times where they had to hold me back.
So he welcomed you on the tour. It wasn't like he was trying to tell you to stay at home.
He didn't tell me to stay. He let me come. I was running things. I was taking pictures of him and all the people. And I, when it got out of control, I would give a look and be like, I am his wife. And I'm like, oh my gosh, can't believe it.
See what I'm saying? Like, he ain't tripped. He didn't say, no, you can't come. Listen, everything that I'm hearing right now, and this is ever since yesterday, and y'all not going to sit here and convince me differently. You're not going to sit here and convince me differently. Everything that I see happening right now has come as a result of her own doing. You want the success, you want the money, you want to be able to go on a tour, but you don't want to know, you don't want to go, you don't want what comes along with it. You want to be respected. That's not the brand that you help cultivate and be a part of behind the scenes and in front of what it is that he's doing. Come on, man. And it ain't even like come on, man. It ain't even like at that time ain't nobody even know who you was. They didn't even know you existed.
I didn't know he was married. I didn't know he was married until the infamous Bonnet video. I never knew he was married.
A lot of people apparently didn't know he was married, but he did make a couple of videos here and there that said he was married.
What video was that?
It was a long, like probably like when we first got married, he did a video on YouTube where he was actually live on YouTube, and it's still, I don't know if it's still up there, but he talked about our marriage and how we got married and all that. And then Don't Forget Your Crown, he talks about me and him and our relationship and us getting married. Yeah, that's one of his books, and he talks about us getting married, which was his number one like book outside of the Cheating Man's Heart series. I got something for you.
I saw some shade right there.
But it is. It's called A Cheating Man's Heart, and it's the 3-part book. Outside of that,
somebody said, listen to this. Rated PG Princess Goat said, wait, isn't his brand based on men needing to respect women though? No. And this is where y'all absolutely positively are off the mark. That is what his wording was, but his brand was to tell women what they wanted and also to make himself seem attractive. And that's the thing that sold the books. That's why y'all started getting into the watching his videos. And this is why you held him as the standard. The brand had nothing to do with respecting women. The brand had something to do with making himself attractive to his potential audience and then pushing a narrative of what they wanted to hear to ensure that they continue to buy his books and buy his products. What people say versus what it is that they're presenting to you and how they're communicating to you. And this is why I say this all the time, and y'all need to understand marketing. That's why I'm releasing a marketing video inside of the Patreon tomorrow to give y'all some insight and information on how this thing goes. The brand had nothing to do with respecting women. The brand had everything to do with appealing to his potential audience, which would then generate the revenue. Stop paying attention to what people say and start paying attention to how they live their life, what they presenting to you, why they're doing it a certain type of way. I'll give you an example. If a man, trying to think of somebody specifically. I can't think about it. If DJ Khaled can't sell you on, well, my brand is to respect women. No, his brand is to party and all of that because you may not necessarily find DJ Khaled as appealing. But the fact that Derrick Jaxn's brand is his image. And the thing that he then pushes is what incentivizes you to go over and buy and sell and get his courses. Y'all missing the mark. You don't understand what is going on here. And she did understand it because she's the one that helped cultivate it. So if this is the thing, a reason why he's going on tour, in order for him to generate the revenue that you then spend, you can't get mad at what it is that you cultivated. You was a part of it.
Don't Forget Your Crown is right there where he talks about me and us. My name is all up in the book, and our relationship, parts of it are in there. And so
didn't that be throwing these little shade up there? You got to catch it because she just tossed it out there a little bit.
I am a woman of God. You know, like I have integrity, and
she said parts of it.
It is. It's the truth, though. There are parts of it in there, and parts of it are true. So he did talk about it a little bit, but it was not this, you know, how we see most people like, oh, this is my wife.
Yeah.
You know,
you ain't gonna see no Gabrielle and Dwayne Wade type of stuff, right, or Sierra and Russell.
Right.
You know.
Right. And then when I started asking for that, it was like, you gonna make the block hot?
Facts. You gonna make the block hot. He knew you about to mess up the money. Now you want to switch up the brand. This ain't what we doing. You about to make the block hot.
And I'm like, I don't care if I make the block hot. I'm your wife. And
you gonna make the block hot.
So
what did that mean to you? What do you mean by that?
This is hard. This is a hard watch, y'all. This is very difficult because all of her wounds are self-inflicted. All of her wounds are self-inflicted. But because women are emotional and they operate off of their feelings, they can't see the bigger picture, and it's very difficult for us to explain this to y'all, even though all of her own wounds are self-inflicted. Because you came into it one way, and now you want to switch it up because you want to be acknowledged, because you start getting therapy and you start going through it to a trainer, and now you feeling a little better about yourself.
You gonna make the block hot?
Well, by the time I was really like forceful, like, hey, you need to take a stand for who you're. If you're saying you want me, you need to take a stand. I need to see this translated. Yeah. And it was like, well, you know, it's like, okay, I'm just coming off of this, gonna make the block hot. You know, like I had to let go of these people and they're going to be upset. And I'm like, I don't care.
Let go what people? What are you talking about?
The women.
He didn't tell you that. He didn't tell you that if you come out and share, if he comes out and share that y'all are married, that he would have to let go of women.
He was saying that he had to let go of these women right behind the scenes. I'm gonna make the block hot, or he's gonna make the block hot, or I'm gonna make the block hot for him posting me after he's let go of these women because their feelings are gonna be hurt. Right?
Are you talking about women that you knew about prior to the marriage?
Prior to the marriage, in the marriage. Okay, so when I was very forceful about it, when I was very forceful about it, we had this is like 2 years ago, so we already in the marriage. So when I was like, you need to take a stand, you want me back, this is what needs to happen.
Okay, so we fast forwarded.
Yeah.
So this is when you took because you mentioned in part 1 that it was an 8-month.
Yeah. So
now she's speaking specifically. So she's jumping around, right? Now she's speaking specifically about when he got caught up, and now she's giving him an ultimatum. Even though she's been participating a long time in the fact that she knew that he had other women, right? Because it ain't no secret. And now she's feeling some type of way because she's going through her self-healing. She probably read one of his fucking books. And so now she want to switch up the game. So this is what she's fast forwarding and making him work to get her back.
I was gone for 8 months. So I left in,
as she's becoming a prize in her mind.
February of 2020 I left Georgia and I went to Denver and I slept on my mama's couch with my 2 kids for 8 months. And
ain't it funny how women think that they punishing you by them leaving and going to sleep on their mama couch? Okay, so now I get to sleep and lay out like a naked X and use the whole bed, not the half the bed, the whole bed. They think they punishing you by taking the kids, them whining, nagging, punk ass kids, over to their mama house and sleeping on the couch. And the mama was like, dang, it's getting a little hot over here. It ain't enough room as I thought it was.
What made you leave?
There was a lot. It was a lot going on at that time. I had already knew about the infidelity since Thanksgiving, around the Thanksgiving time where we hosted his whole family in our house. And that was the hardest thing I had to do, to sit there and be with his family and all that.
Reading Super Chat shortly.
I went to Thailand with my mom and my best friend a couple weeks after that. And I was talking to the Lord and I was like, okay, Lord, I can't continue to do this. And I was like, okay, you need to choose between the condo and the family that you created. Right. And I really feel like I heard that from the Lord to tell him to do that, because he was spending a lot of time. We had a condo and then we had a mansion, and I was in a mansion, a 9,000 square foot mansion by myself with 2 kids, more nights than I should be. Like the people that clean our house were in there more with me and the kids.
Wow. So you got a 9,000 square foot mansion and a condo. So you are largely the beneficiary of all the hard work that he's putting in. He out there hustling and grinding, putting in his work. You are living a better, look, come on, man. Let's be for real. You are living a better life than you ever could have dreamed of. You would never, ever have this life without him. Can we just keep it 100 for 1 second? I can't believe that I'm actually having this conversation with y'all. You would never, ever, ever. You'd probably be sitting on a bunch of student loan debt, never had a job in your life, not working whatsoever. You are sitting in a 9,000 square foot mansion with cleaners, cooks, probably chefs, well taken care of. And now you trying to insert yourself in here to fuck up the money. Okay.
Than he was. And so I really felt like I heard that from the Lord, like, hey, choose between the condo you're spending all your time and the family you created. And he got so upset. Like, what do you mean this? Yeah. And I'm like, you need to choose like what you're gonna do. And at that point I still had not told him that I know about all of the stuff.
Again, that's amazing how you.
Hey ladies, I'm gonna give y'all an opportunity to be able to come up on here and tell me exactly where it is that I'm off on. You already knew I was gonna do this show today. You already knew that I was gonna break this down. I am going to give you an opportunity to come up here and help me to understand where I'm wrong at. Make sure that you prepare yourself, okay? We just gonna have a conversation. I'm curious.
You came out and talked about it in premarital counseling, and then now you withdrew again and didn't bring it up again in marriage.
Right, because that scared me. Okay, all of the anger that I received after just telling him how I actually felt, like how I was impacted by his decision making in that time, and his reaction to that, it was not like that didn't invite safety. Yeah. That didn't invite like, oh, continue to do this. Like I at that point still had not even unpacked the rape trauma. So. Right. All of that is like fear. Like, okay, if I continue to talk about this, it's going to push him away. We're married now. I'm definitely not trying to get a divorce and be left with these 2 kids by myself.
You know what's so funny, Rated PG? I would love to talk to you because you said it sounds like he needs to find a woman that'll get on this program of now 9,000 square foot mansion. Shouldn't be hard. He did. It was called Derrick Jaxn. And if you look at part 1 of the video, she literally explains how this is exactly who he was before she ever got with him. Throughout the entire time that they was dating, she brought trauma into the relationship, knew of every single woman. It wasn't a secret. Actually, allegedly, based off of what people are saying, deleted 3 children and participated in the threesomes. And you sitting here now telling me that now she wanted to switch it up. She was on a program. She benefited from it. But now all of a sudden it's all on him and she's basically clearing her name. Stop it. Stop it. She was on the program. That's why she was in the program. That's why she helped cultivate the program. She helped build the program.
So, and I quit my job to be a stay-at-home mom and to work with him, and so.
Oh, you quit your job to stay and get taken care of.
I just withdrew within self. I had not overcome all those things yet. I hadn't unpacked all those things yet. So, fear. I was almost like intimidated by him, and then you add on some things that I had not dealt with my daddy issue. All of it kind of equated into me withdrawing back into self, into my little shell. So again, I had to unpack all of those things just to get to a point to be in a sound mind.
So when you left, what did you say when you left?
I didn't say anything.
He just came home one day, he was gone.
Well, he was at the condo. He decided he was going to go to the condo because we had a big falling out.
So it's a condo in the same city?
Yeah, it's in Atlanta. It was in downtown, midtown.
So you had a condo in the house?
We had a 9,000 square foot mansion in the same neighborhood that the Migos, one of the Migos people, I don't even know their names, but one of them lived like not far.
So why do you think you need a condo for?
He needed a condo so he could record. I was told the condo was supposed to be for business, for recording, to get this look, for the webinars and all that. That was what that was for. But little did I know, we was out here living our best lives, whole full-blown relationships.
Duh.
Okay, so.
I would want to say duh on that. Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question. Here's my question, dog. For you guys, you wild boys of y'all out here being crazy, why are y'all bringing these chicks back to the places that you lay your head at? Completely side conversation. Why do y'all feel comfortable enough to bring these chicks back where you conduct business and lay your head at? That's wild to me. I just cannot. Maybe that's a new age thing. Maybe y'all just feel ultra comfortable with these women that y'all got hanging out around y'all or whatever like that. Some of y'all dudes, I'm going to be reading super chats throughout the show. Why do y'all feel comfortable enough to bring these chicks and these hood rats back to one of your places? That's crazy to me, yo.
It's like if you have a whole condo, first of all, if you really want to do something, you got a 9,000 square foot house, you can put a whole studio in that 9,000 square foot house.
Right, but no, we have kids.
Oh, shut your punk it. Okay. Let me stop. I don't want to go off on a host. Because now he's simping. Hey, listen, we're not looking for your opinion. We just want you to ask the questions, get the information, and we want her to be able to communicate it. Stop trying to put thoughts into people's heads to try to give them advice on how it is that they can lock up their man. Every person needs to have a level of separation so that you can come back together and appreciate each other. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. That's a fact.
Too loud. There's all these things, the reason why that couldn't happen.
Sure, you could have built a studio in the backyard of that bad boy.
There was a lot of space.
I imagine so. In Atlanta, the 9,000 square foot house, I can only imagine what that backyard looked like.
Ridiculous. Right? And so, so he had the condo it's supposed to be for business, but he spent more nights there than he did at home. So anyway, he ended up going back to the condo because I had said some things like as it relates to scripture that he didn't agree with and all that. And it just turned into a big thing. And I was like, you need to be delivered. I just came.
Now she started introducing. First, God didn't know you. Now all of a sudden he starts speaking to you. God didn't know you at first. And now you became spiritual. And now you hit me with scripture. There can never be any more of an unattractive argument than if somebody started throwing scripture in your face. We got a problem.
I learned a lesson. You just can't come at somebody and be like, you need to be delivered. So I learned a lesson in that.
You said what? You learned that you can't tell somebody.
You just can't be like, hey, you need to be delivered. You got demons. I didn't know that though at the time.
Because you was a new Christian.
I was new.
Yeah, you was new in this thing.
I was new. I was just like, I just found out about deliverance. So this is okay to say, you need to be delivered. You need to be delivered. This is why. And I know 2 people that can do it. So we need to figure it out so we can go. You can get delivered. I get delivered. Everybody's happy, right? Yeah, that doesn't work out. Apparently people get very upset. And not only do they get upset, they think you're crazy and you've lost your mind. So
this is wild. This is absolutely wild.
I went through that. I said that, and then I'm crazy. He said I'm crazy and all these things, and I need to get a mental evaluation. He called my mom, which is how my mom got involved. He called my mom like, hey, you need to come check on her. And then my mom is calling me like, what's going on? And then I'm telling her all of it because at the time I didn't tell her all.
Shout out to my dog Shannon Rawls in the chat. I see you, big dog. This is wild, bro. Shannon, I think that she's wild. I don't know what your take is on this, Shannon. I'm not sure. I'm expecting for the ladies to help me out today, but I think that she's the one that's the crazy one. I don't think it was him. I don't think he switched up at all. I think it was 100% her.
All of the stuff that was going on. And now I'm telling her all of it because I'm like, okay, I don't have the capacity to deal with this. I got these 2 kids. I am not crazy. He has a demon inside of me, like he needs to get delivered. And I'm trying to help him to get delivered, You can't come that aggressive. So that was a learning lesson. I learned that in ministry. That was my first introduction into ministry. So
I don't believe that women should be in ministry. This is what happens. You start messing up your relationship and your marriage. I'm a firm believer that women should not be in leadership positions, especially with regard to church. Maybe I'm old school. Call me old school. I don't think that women should just automatically get an opportunity to just be in the pulpit just because you're a woman or you have some visibility or you're married to Derrick Jaxn. Come on, man. Come on, man. What we talking about? Now you a pastoress? What do they call the women pastors? What's the women pastors? Evangelists? I know evangelists are the traveling women pastors. The pastor priestesses? Now you first you was down to do the tango, and now I need to be delivered. Nothing make a dude dick go limp than a chick talking about you need to get delivered after she find her church family. She destroyed her own marriage. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro.
What brought you into Christianity as an adult? Because you said when you were younger, you were introduced to it when you were younger, but then you renewed your faith, recommitted. When was this?
So this was around the time, I know we talked about how he got his hair cut by a girl.
That Prophetess Love C, that's what the name of them are, Prophetess.
That he had sex with. And it's around that time I enrolled in therapy. I had 3 therapists at the time.
Yeah.
And it was around that time I was like, okay, there's something seriously wrong with me and I need to figure it out. I cannot go another year like in this condition. And so I was just doing everything. I'm like, listen, whatever I can get into, God is the answer.
And plus I have money, so you can just go pay for it.
I'm gonna try whatever I can try. Like yoga, like what else you got? Like God is the answer. So let me figure that out. Let me get in Bible study. I'm calling my mom like, when is your Bible study group meeting? I need to get on a video call with y'all, because I'm in Georgia, they're in Denver. And so I started doing that and I was like on and off with that a little bit, but then I started having some like weird dreams and things like that where I felt like I always had to fight, and like I would go through the day, I'm like, oh, I feel like I have to fight, but I don't know what I'm fighting.
That's good.
Like I don't know what I'm fighting, and then my mom was like, okay,
He validating the behavior. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I was waiting for you to get to this point.
Yeah.
And she's just sitting here waiting the whole time, reading me my whole life, and she's like, okay, there is a spiritual war going on.
There it is.
And you need to decide who you're going to serve.
Yep.
That's what she said to me. I was like, what? What do you mean? I already served Jesus. She's like, you need to decide who you're going to serve because you have not been serving my Lord. And I'm like, okay. So
That's good.
once I started pursuing, like taking this, when she said that, I was like, okay, this is real. And then our daughter started having some like night terrors. But it was some crazy like paranormal activity type of stuff happening in our house. Like when I say stuff moving, when I say lights turning on by itself, when I seen our daughter literally get picked up out of her bed, there's a camera in the room and on the floor, like nobody's in her room.
I believe in all that.
Drop the receipts. I need to see the footage. Drop the receipts. I need to see the footage. This is all crazy to me. This is all. Is this around the same time that she started wearing her helmet of righteousness and she started making a rap album? Just curious. Is this around the same time that God told her to start rapping on the internet and do a rap album? And she did a whole video shoot at the playground where she did her video was shot on the playground of the righteousness of the Lord. Come on, man. I'm reading super chat shortly, yo.
Nobody's in her room. And I was like, what do I do besides calling the name of Jesus? I don't know. So that's what really started. Because I'm like, okay, now my child is being attacked. I got to take it serious. It's one thing with me, but
can y'all imagine seeing your chick do a rap album on the internet?
Now my child is being attacked. She's 1.5, 2 years old at the time. And so I started really going down that path. And I didn't really tell him because he was, he's at the condo working. so he's he's providing, and out here.
Give you that nice little soft life you live in.
Yes. I'm like, yes.
So you can have 3 therapists and
exactly.
all that.
Listen, shout out to all 3 of them therapists. They had their work cut out for them. And yes, so.
And so what
Therapy is a scam.
was the breaking point for you to get up and leave and go to Denver?
So when he said I was crazy, because I'm like, you need to be delivered and we need to go now and this is what needs to happen.
So he called your mom and you said, forget it, I'm going.
I was like, it took a couple days. And I was like, okay, I feel like I can't just leave. So I'm like, okay, we need to go to therapy. We need to work this out. And I'm texting him because he's like not answering my calls. He's like, if you come to the condo, I'm gonna call the police on you. All these, I'm like, okay. I said,
I'm with it.
I was texting him. I'm like, okay, we have to figure out how to work this out. The best way for us to do this is for you to come here and we can figure it out. Like, and he was basically like, I'm not coming back.
Ladies, y'all ready to cam up? I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. I'm curious as to what y'all thoughts are.
Back there, like I would rather be separated from you than to be miserable with you in the same house. And I was like, Mom, my bags are packed. When can you be here? And she was on the flight the next morning, flew in, and we drove, or I can't even say we drove. I drove like 80 miles an hour to Denver.
All the way from Atlanta to Denver?
Yes.
How long was that trip?
It's a 24-hour drive. I drove the first 15 hours pretty much straight through. She had to force me to stop driving.
You were just motivated on adrenaline.
I was, adrenaline, and I was just like so upset, and then I was kind of scared too, because I'm like, I can't believe like I'm actually doing this. He's gonna freak out.
So now you would put your children in danger, talking on the phone to your mom, jumping in the car, and just shooting out to Denver, and leaving your 9,000 square foot home. Yeah, this makes so much sense, y'all.
When he realizes that I'm gone, because I didn't say anything. I didn't send my phone was actually right. My phone was actually turned off at the time because there was like a little financial crisis.
RK, therapy is a scam.
That started happening around that time too. So my phone was actually turned off. So I was like, this is
You
perfect.
just lie about that financial crisis. Had your phone cut off.
My phone was cut off
Why
at the
was a
time.
9,000 square foot house and your phone get cut off?
He was working at the condo, so.
It could have been a financial crisis, just oversight of the bill being paid.
Yeah.
Because you can't have a 9,000 square foot house.
I don't know. I wasn't even involved with the finances, so that's what I've been told. So.
You've been told?
Yeah, because I wasn't involved in it.
He just told you what?
It's a financial crisis.
Yeah, because Tasha K messed up the money, blew up the spot, and so it's a financial crisis. And so now y'all don't have no money. Yeah, that's basically what happened.
It's a financial crisis from what I understand.
Define financial crisis.
Define it, because there was sure a Lamborghini.
That's what I'm saying. And Bentley sitting up here doing car videos with a Bentley.
There was a lot of stuff. So I don't know where it all went, but we had a financial crisis and my phone was turned off. So at that time it was turned off, and
how long was it cut off? About a couple hours?
Days.
See, I don't understand it.
Days. And so it kind of worked out, because then he can immediately call me, and my mom's not answering the phone. So there's that. But by the time I actually got to Denver, he was already there. So
he was?
He was.
Oh, he flew down there while y'all was driving?
He flew, and he was at my mom's old address, because he had looked her stuff up online and went to her old address. Didn't realize that she had moved. And so he was at the wrong address, and I called him when I got there. And I was like, okay, at minimum I could call him when I'm actually there. Yeah. Let him know. He's like, I need, like, let's talk. He's out standing outside. I'm outside. I'm like, outside where? And it's snowing, and he's like, I'm outside, let's talk. And I'm like, she doesn't even live there anymore. And I'm like, I don't think I should be coming out right now. Like, I just got off the road. We just got off the road. And my mom is in the background, like, you just got off the road. You are not going anywhere. And then she's on the phone with someone.
Number one way to ruin your relationship, ladies and gentlemen, is to involve other people in your relationship, including your parents and your friends and family. Again, let me say this one more time. Number one way to ruin your relationship is to involve other people in your relationship, including your friends and family. Shout out to Mike, that dude that held me down with the 10 ball on Cash App. Shout out to T-Max77095. Says, Cookback Chaser, I appreciate you. Celeste, I appreciate you. Celeste Jones and Brandon Williams, thank you for contributing to the platform. I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly. The link is pinned to the top of the chat if you want to be able to let me know where I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen.
They're like, you get off that phone.
Only if you disagree with me. Only if you disagree with me, let me know that I'm wrong. The link is pinned to the top of the chat.
Wait, right? And which then brought in a whole nother dynamic, because it's like, your mom is controlling your behavior and your actions, and she's keeping you away and telling you what to say and what to do. So then that became a whole nother dynamic, and I'm just like, head spin.
So how long did it take for you to connect with him while he was in Denver?
We met the next day. We met at IHOP. And with the kids, my mom dropped me and the kids off. And he was like, how long are you going to be here? And I was like, I don't know, a couple weeks. Still not saying like, I know, about all this stuff that's going on. And he was like, well, like, you just going to leave? Like, how do you just going to leave like that and not say anything? And I'm like, yeah.
Basically, he's saying, why are you taking my kids away from me? But okay.
Yeah. Like, you decided you want to stay at the condo. I can't stay in this house by myself. And so he's like, so you're just going to keep the kids away from me? And I'm like, I'm not even trying to do
I told you. It ain't even Listen. I told y'all it was about the kids. See, the women want to think that it's about them, and it ain't even about you. It ain't even about you. It's about the oh, so you just gonna take my kids away from me because you don't necessarily agree with the fact that you out here messing up the bag and creating a financial crisis in your 9,000 square foot home because you want to be a victim? I told you, it's the kids. You want to do what you want to do and just completely remove me from my family because you don't necessarily agree with the thing that you used to agree with, but now you're moving in a completely different direction. I told you. Number one tool that a woman used without even saying that she's using it is the kids. 1,000%. And then other people is putting that battery in your back in order to continue to do it. I know what's happening out here in these streets. I know 100% of what's happening out here in these streets. Let me continue.
Do that, but I take care of them pretty much by myself. Been doing it by myself since they were
If
born.
you guys disagree with me, feel free to call in. I'm going to be reading super chat shortly. If you disagree with me, feel free to call in.
Essentially, mostly as far as the main care of them, outside of financially, which apparently that's a big deal. If you provide financially, that's the only job you have. So I did not know that. I'm learning though. And
Provide.
Right. And so, yeah. So
he's there. How long did you stay in Denver before coming back?
I was there for 8 months, and he traveled there almost if not every week, every other week. He was there every month.
So what was the plan?
Because he wanted to go up there and see his kids.
I was just trying to survive. At that point, by the time I got to Denver, I was like unhealthily, like skinny, like I was malnourished. I hadn't been eating. I was depressed.
He was not malnourished.